Hey friends, Ash here with Gents, and today I'm going to be doing first impressions on 3 of the sexiest men's designer fragrances, but not exactly though. It's actually these. Yeah. His sexiest designers. One of my friends actually bought this for me, Tommy from Studio Sense. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel if you want to check that out, but he picked this up for me, kind of as a joke, I guess? I'm not sure, but he bought these for me from Walmart, I think for like $10, maybe less, and we've got 3 fragrances in here that I'm gonna check out. There's Raw Power, Masculino, and Game Changer. So Raw Power is supposed to be their version of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. Masculino, Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio, and Game Changer, Liz Claiborne Curve. So essentially what we've got here is very inexpensive fragrance clones. And that's what I'm going to be checking out today. So you guys are going to get to see here if these sexiest designer imposters for men are worth checking out or not. So let's jump into this. I have not opened this up, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this fantastic presentation before I tear into it. Here's a good look at the front of the packaging. You can see there each one of the fragrances, and I know the ring light is really reflecting heavily off of this here. And then a little more information on the back of the box here. You can see right here on the back how hardcore these fragrances are. Designer Imposters uses expensive designer quality fragrance oils at higher concentration levels to give you a fragrance that lasts as long as you do. Okay. For some of you out there, that's not going to be very long. A fragrance that lasts as long as you do. And I'm not trying to be mean to you, random guy out there who is right now looking ashamed and saying, oh, he's talking about me. But yeah, a fragrance that lasts as long as you do. For a lot of guys, that's gonna be a fragrance that lasts what, like 5 minutes. Probably could have came up with a better slogan to throw on the back of the box there. I mean, even the most hardcore person out there, I don't think is, lasting 12 plus hours, but what do I know? Enough talk about that. Let's go ahead and open this up and see how these smell. It's kind of funny, actually what they're saying here, that they use expensive designer quality fragrance oils at higher concentration levels is what you'll hear from a lot of fragrance clone houses that are more well known, not taking shots at them, but houses like Dua or Alexandria where they say, oh, these are extremely high quality fragrance oils. We use it at a higher concentration so you get better performance than the original fragrance. That's the same thing that these guys are saying. Again, that's not a shot at Dua or Alexandria, just in observation. So here we go. The 3 fragrance bottles, Raw Power, Masculino, and Game Changer. Interestingly enough, these come in 1.5 fluid ounce size or 44 milliliters. So definitely not a size that you're gonna see all that often. Usually something is going to be like 30 milliliters, 50 milliliters, 100 milliliters, 75 milliliters, but these ones, 44. So these feel cheap, which is exactly what you would expect. These essentially look like miniature hairspray bottles or something like that. That is actually exactly what they look like. So you have a little plastic cap that clicks into place over the atomizer, spray nozzle, whatever you want to call it. We'll do this one first, Raw Power, because look at that picture of a jaguar or whatever that is on the front there. Yeah, awesome. And there's the back of the bottle in case you wanted to have a good look at that. And there's your spray nozzle. Actually, it reminds me a little bit of like Sex Panther, the little jaguar / panther on the, yeah, I guess we'll just call it a panther on the front of the bottle here. So this one, Raw Power, is supposed to be their version of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. Can't smell anything from the nozzle. Fierce is extremely popular. It has been ever since it came out. If you went into any mall, basically within 10 years of when Fierce was released, then you smelled a whole bunch of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. So let's go ahead and give this one a spray on skin. Hopefully it's not gonna have a whole bunch of carcinogens and give me skin cancer. Yeah, so this sprays out like hairspray. All things considered, not as bad as I was expecting. At the same time, not really all that good compared to the original. I would go personally for like Mont Blanc Legend. If you were going for a cheaper version of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, that's gonna be your best bet, but yeah, it could be worse. It does not have as much of an alcohol kind of scent profile as I was expecting. A lot of times with cheap fragrances, when you spray it on, you'll get hit with this big blast that smells like rubbing alcohol or chemicals. This one essentially just smells like a cheaper, like a dollar store version of Fierce, which is actually exactly what it is. So yeah, it's got the citrus off the top, a little bit of musk, sort of, you know, nondescript woodsy notes in there. For a younger guy, a kid, something like that, you could get them this, and it wouldn't be too bad. It is marketed here as a body spray, so not really marketed as an eau de toilette or anything like that, just a body spray. Not quite as much depth as you're gonna find in Mont Blanc Legend or Fierce, but yeah, it's surprisingly not terrible. And I think that each one of these are what, like $3 around about, because I believe that this pack is in the $10 range. So if you divide that up, you know, each one of these is gonna run you, you know, right around $3-4. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not something I would wear personally, but better than I was expecting for sure. Next up, let's go with Masculino. This one is the Acqua di Gio clone. And this one has some sort of angry, stylized, tribal-ish animal on the front. I don't know. You tell me what this is. There it is, Masculino. What is that? Some angry lizard cat or something. Let's give this one a spray. I'm really familiar with Acqua di Gio. That was the fragrance that I wore a lot back in my teen years, back in the day. This one smells a little maybe heavier on the bergamot type note, bergamot accord. It's got that kind of vibe, a little more of the citrus than the white flowers off the top. Can't speak. It does smell cheap again, but it is passable. There was not a big blast of alcohol on this fragrance either. They do smell like they're going to fade like that. These do not come across off my skin here like they're going to last very long, which maybe is the company low-key dissing guys out there, because again, on the back of the box, lasts as long as you do, and then it's like, wait a second, that fragrance was gone in 6 minutes. What are they saying about me? It's a little bit of overreaction, but you get the idea. Yeah, it's like a very plain Jane Acqua di Gio, even less nuanced than the original Acqua di Gio, less depth, more of a focus on like a citrus accord, not a real bergamot, which again, it's like a $3 fragrance, so nobody out there is expecting a real bergamot, but still yet. With a little bit of musk creeping in, cheap musk, not much in the way of any white florals, not good ones anyway. It's pretty crappy, but as far as a $3 knockoff of Acqua di Gio goes, I don't know, what is it? It's like it's in the upper echelon of $3 Acqua di Gio knockoffs, which at the same time puts it in the absolute bottom tier of Acqua di Gio knockoffs. So it's like the best of its class, but its class is complete trash. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Yeah, it's pretty crappy. The Fierce one is better. The Fierce one is much closer to actual Fierce, though it's still not a good alternative. I think Mont Blanc Legend is what you need to go for, but the Fierce knockoff is better than the Acqua di Gio knockoff. And last up, Game Changer. Game Changer. This one, the Liz Claiborne Curve knockoff, which is not a fragrance that you should probably clone because Curve is really cheap, assuming that you buy it online from a discounter. So this one, it looks like they're trying to go with some kanji. Yeah, I'm trying to go with kanji on this one as the design for the bottle, and it comes across looking like a weird rib cage with a backbone. Yeah. So there it is, Game Changer. This one right here changes the game. You want compliments, you want phone numbers, you want ladies, you want Game Changer. Obviously, I'm completely being facetious there. I doubt this is gonna be very good, but let's give it a try. All right, Game Changer. Kinda sucks. This one does have more of that alcohol tinge right off the top. The last two not as much. This one does a bit. Yeah, it's just, it's cheap. It just smells very cheap, which again is not a surprise. I'm not trying to hate on these because they are, again, $3 fragrances, but that's just, it comes off cheap. It does start to shade into Claiborne Curve territory. Now that it's been on my skin here for a minute or two, that alcohol is kind of dissipated, that scent profile, you know, that sharpness, that alcohol-y tinge, that's gone. It's starting to take on that musky, slightly fruity Curve kind of undertone. It does, again, smell lower quality than Curve, which I keep harping on it, so I'll just shut up with that lower quality, but that's how it comes off. A little itty bitty tinge of that kind of tropical fruitiness from Curve. And the longer that it's on, the closer it does smell to Curve. So of these three, now that it's sat on my skin for a little bit of time here, it is the closest of the bunch to the fragrance that it's trying to emulate. Yeah, it is. That being said, Curve is really cheap. So you can pick it up for, you know, 15 bucks most of the time from discounters. If you really like Curve, just buy Curve. It's an all right version of Curve. The opening is trash. It's really crappy, but after that, it's okay. Still not something I'd wear. And these do sit close to your skin very quickly. 15 minutes in, these are gonna be basically kaput. They're gonna be skin scents. And these spray out a ton, which you've seen, but I'll show you again. They spray out a lot. I mean, it's basically like a hairspray nozzle, like I said earlier. So you're getting a lot of fragrance, a lot of coverage with every spray, but it's kind of weak. If you were gonna actually wear these, you'd have to really just spray it on all over. Now, my final thoughts on these, I do think for like a younger kid, something like that, they could be solid. They don't smell as bad as you would expect for the price. These are ultimately, you know, 3 bottles, 1.5 ounces each, 4.5 ounces overall, that you're picking up for 10 bucks, right around there. And at that price, for a younger kid, maybe a teen or something like that, if you want to get them some cheap fragrances that don't smell too bad, that aren't really gonna be all that strong, but are gonna at least give them like a little bit of a scent, you know, maybe something that they could throw into their burgeoning collection and spray it on occasion when they don't want to use something nicer. They could work for that. As far as me wearing them, I'm never gonna do it. If you have a collection with a decent amount of fragrances, probably the only way that you would ever use these is just, I don't know, if you want to spray them on really heavily and wear it casually somewhere and you just want to have it on because you'd rather be wearing something than nothing, I guess. Of the three, the Acqua di Gio is the least like the fragrance that it's copying, and the Curve one is the most like the fragrance that it is copying or emulating. As far as fragrances go, they're not very good. As far as really cheap body sprays that you can pick up for essentially $3 a bottle, they're not bad. So it just depends on how you approach these, essentially. Kind of the same way with like bod sprays, the ones that come in like the little, looks like almost like a Windex bottle. If you approach those comparing them to actual designer releases, then they're pretty much always going to suck. But if you approach them as just a really cheap fragrance that's almost a throwaway, where you don't even care if you lose it, that you could gift again to somebody younger who's just getting into fragrances, or something that you use like as a room freshener or like a bathroom spray or something like that, not too bad. Just depends on what frame of mind you approach these, I guess. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me with these bad boys, these designer imposters, Game Changer, Masculino, and Raw Power. And in actuality, I will most likely just keep these in the bathroom and use them like a poopery. Yeah. As always, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and thanks for all your support. I'll see you all again tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.